Hi, we've come to the end of a remarkable 7 or 8 days in Brazil. Too much to report in one short video, and we leave for the long journey home today with our hearts full and our bodies exhausted. It seems like a lifetime ago now, but we had a day in Sao Paulo last Friday. A little bit of time to explore this incredible, chaotic city, and then an opportunity to meet two significant pastors in the city that are responsible for church planting movements that have remained faithful to the gospel in a nation that has really come under the power of the prosperity message, which has distorted so much of church life here. It was great to make connection with them. They're looking for a friendship with movements in Europe, and so it was good to have some time there. Saturday, we flew early down to Joinville, beautiful city in the south of Brazil, about 600,000 people, for an incredible weekend with the little Reino church plant there, and with Darlan, Carino, Fabiano, and Taina. It's extraordinary how in just a few short days the Lord could unite our hearts and knit our hearts together so strongly. These guys are already so with us. And we had an amazing day with them on Saturday. Once we arrived, talking and teaching late into the night with their core group in an apartment about church life, New Testament church foundations, again the nature of the apostolic, genuine New Testament apostolic church life, not the distortion, the abusive, heavy distortion that they see here in Brazil. We've had those kinds of conversations so many times. We feel the Lord's given us a real measure of grace in explaining that well. Sunday, a great morning with this church plant, just 45, 50 people, but so very hungry. We were able to teach on the grace of God and again see the impact that has as they hear this message, many of them for the first time. And then the rest of the Sunday and Monday just spent with the two main leadership couples, walking, talking, eating far too much in some of the most beautiful places on the planet, but just building trust and friendship. We left them with after some very late nights on Tuesday morning with our hearts full, and then flew back to Sao Paulo, and then the journey to Limeira, where I am now, looking out over the early morning rooftops. Limeira is a city that has had a history of revival, though not currently, but you see the legacy of it in hundreds of churches, some of them still very big church buildings all over the city. We pretty much got out of the car on Tuesday evening and straight into a meeting with about 500 or 600 believers. Beautiful welcome, again very hungry and thirsty. We were able to teach from Romans 8 about coming out from under condemnation and the contrast between the old life under the law and the new way of the Spirit. We saw so many responses, probably 13 responses to the gospel, many recommitments, prayed for loads of people for healing. It was a remarkable time. I can't even think what happened the next day as I'm talking to you now. We began to meet many church planters here who are wanting connection. And then, of course, Danny and Giovanna's book launch in the evening, where again I spent most of the evening talking with church planters, husbands and wives who are so isolated and have been so broken by the apostolic movement here in Brazil. Yesterday, again, we met with three church planters in particular that are looking for a relationship with us, and had a really beautiful morning of friendship with them to talk and pray and make some plans. Again, just feeling our hearts knitting with them. And then an afternoon where we met some business entrepreneurs that want to invest in the kingdom, prayed with some people who were sick, half an hour, do a bit of shopping in the town centre, and then back to a big church meeting, a church that gathers 13,000 on the Sunday in 3 meetings. And we were able to meet with probably a couple of thousand of them last night in their extraordinary arena, which again is a legacy to the revival that's been here. It was a real privilege for us. And again, we've talked with Freedom on the Holy Spirit, saw probably 25 or so responses to the gospel, and many hundreds prayed for healing. Come home exhausted, but thrilled at the privilege that we've had. It's been unusual for us too to have these messages going out online on the internet and to find thousands of people outside of the churches watching, responding, sending in messages. Also the opportunity we had to go on national radio and discover, after an hour of talking about European church planting, the gospel, New Testament apostolic partnerships, all kinds of things like that, to find that around 1.5 million people were listening, sending in questions from all over Brazil, even up in the Amazon, a region I've longed to go and explore since I was a little boy. So many more things to say, but I've already talked for too long. If you're still with me now, then you must be real friends of ours. The team have been extraordinary. They've worked so hard. Danny, Giovanna, in particular, with all their translation. We've loved building friendship with them. What an extraordinary couple they are. What a huge calling on their lives. Kaz too, just getting stuck in, praying, prophesying, all the time with people, morning, noon and night. We start our long journey now. Please pray for us as we come home. And if you're watching this in Crawley, we'll see you bright and early on Sunday morning, raring to go to meet with Jesus. We love you all. Thank you for sending us. We'll fill you in properly when we return. God bless you all.